Alrighty. We are live from Columbus, OH. This is the Ramsey Show After Show. Okay, if you have it muted, the sound's not going to come out, but you guys heard it. I just had my monitoring stream of the YouTube muted, and so I didn't hear it, but we're all good now. Thanks to everybody for watching, whether you're doing that now or later at some point. Much appreciated. I am Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you want to see my other financial content, you just scroll past the Oak Island playlist here and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show. That's this show. And you can see there are actually today's is 507 of those. And the Answering Your Financial Questions, where I don't do anything else except answer questions. On the after show, I do other things, which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, 137 of those. And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. And this one, the episode 500 of the Ramsey Show After Show, is me doing all of them live. And I won't say that any of that, well, maybe some of those that I did live might be better than the versions that are in the single songs. Like I debuted the when you're on baby step two instead of only wanna be with you. And so you can tell singing is not my regular job, but it's fun. And the songs write themselves, so why not sing them? Right? Am I right? Market report. So down day today. I don't know what they're worried about. Let's see if it says what they're worried about. Trump tariffs still. Yep. As Trump preps auto tariffs. All right. Okay, so they have to be worried about that still, apparently. And then eventually they'll forget about it and worry about or be happy about something else that happens in the world, and then it'll go back up. Let's see what the rest of the planet is looking like. Mostly down in Europe, mostly down in Asia as well. The US dollar is up against the euro, up against the bloody yen, Japanese yen, up against the British pound, love, the bloody quid. Also up against the Canadian dollar, sorry, and also up against the Australian dolomite. And it does happen quite a bit where the market is down, then the dollar will be up against the rest of the world currency. It does happen quite a bit. Let's see if there's anything very exciting here. Everything in the most followed single stocks on the Google are all down. The least of which is the Apple, 0.99%, and the most down, of course, Tesla, 5.58%, which is normally going to be your most up or most down of all of them. Has more of a swing. Let's take a look at the headlines here. Snap 3-day win streak. There's Trump preps auto tariffs. Okay, I could have just read it there. I did not know that was there. Tariffs on foreign cars again. Bill Gates says, let's see what Mr. Bill says. Within 10 years, AI will replace many doctors and teachers. Humans won't be needed for most things. Really? They're going to be AI going to be doing surgery as well? I mean, I could see it for maybe a consultation where there's no actual like touching or anything like that needed. But otherwise, I mean, eventually I'm sure the AI will be put into robots and that'll be about it. But I don't know. In 10 years, I don't know, Bill. I don't know. He's smarter than I am, though. So we'll see. Restaurateur says fighting for our lives against reservation scalping trend. What? Reservation scalp. Oh, that means somebody pretends to have the reservation? I mean, uses like a standard name or something. I don't know how you would do that unless you knew who it was, or if you did the Ferris Bueller trick where you just look at them. You have you wait for the maitre d' or whoever to go with the hostess or host to go away from the host stand, and then you look to see who's on the computer now. It's probably on a computer now, but it was in books back in the, when was that, 80s, right, for Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And then you just say you're Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, and you just you keep with the bit, and you don't ever let them see you sweat, right, Ferris? Treasury Department set to lay off substantial number of employees. Probably should have never been hired in the first place. Government's too big. Mega Millions last night, apparently $344 million jackpot. 27 cold stores set to close Saturday. Rivian spins out a new micro mobility startup called Also with 105 million from Eclipse. All right, so this company is getting 105 from Eclipse. Is that a lender? And so you should not, Rivian, you should not borrow money for business purposes. That should be done just in cash. Rivian, you're doing it wrong. Bitcoin price suddenly braced for a Cambrian explosion. I don't know if that means going up or down. And you can see GameStop here up 11.65% today just because they bought Bitcoin a few days ago. Dumb. And I think that's all we got for, yep, that's it. So one thing I thought about today was the volatility index. And as you can see, it is kind of volatile there. It's up 6.88%. And I thought I would look more into that. Because I was seeing, now that's always a high number. Can you invest in the volatility index? And of course, the AI overview says you can't directly invest in that, but you can invest in the volatility index futures, options, or VIX-based exchange traded products. ETPs, okay, like ETFs and ETNs to gain exposure to volatility. All right, so you can't do it. You can do it the back doorway, I guess, but you can't invest directly into that. And that, of course, is your gambling. Oh, and what it is the CBOE. Oh gosh, I can't remember what that means. Something Board of Economics. I can't remember what that is. Volatility index, but basically it's like the stock market. Is a measure of the market's expectation of volatility over the next 30 days. I did not realize that. I thought it was like the real time of just today. I did not realize that. Derived from the prices of S&P 500 index options. All right. Again, not directly investable. And you can buy the futures and options. All this is just repeating it, because this is the AI overview, and then now here's the more details. I see how it's working now. Thank you, AI, and consider your risk tolerance. Yeah, you wouldn't do any of this crap because that's that's day trading again. So you don't want to do that. But I did ask if we could invest in it, just because I wanted to see the answer to it. Because I thought, no, there's no way, and I thought, well, I don't know for sure. So let me Google it, and I did. What up, Joy? How is the state up north? Probably chillier. What do we got here? We got a 50 degrees here in Columbus, OH today. Or right now, it was a little bit warmer earlier. This is from out of ideas 33. Well, I have some. How about you do the baby steps like they're written? Let's see. The question is, should I pay off house or buy cheaper house with equity? Well, I mean, that's up to you. Does it have a no ellipsis? So this is all there is. So let's read it. My wife and I have been going back and forth on what to do in our current situation. We have 3 kids. She stays home and I'm in tech. We built a home during the pandy for $500,000 and owe $405,000. The home has increased in value to $750,000 to $800,000. Fabulous, based on comps in our neighborhood, our area/neighborhood. We have roughly $250,000 saved up. You're doing it wrong. And have 1 car payment. You're doing it wrong. I want to be mortgage free at 31 years old, so you're doing it wrong, but you're thinking about it wrong. You should pay off the smaller debts first than the mortgage. Mortgage is step 6, pay that off early. Paying off your non-mortgage debt is step 2. So you're doing it wrong. Where? I want to be mortgage free at 31 years old, but she can't get past that. I built this house. In quotes there, I guess mentality would be the word that would come after that, but was left out. I want to sell the house and purchase one in cash for $500,000 to $600,000. Move down in house. That's a good idea. That way you can pay off your dumb car debt. So stupid. I'd like to take some stress off the grind with one income. Yeah. And guess who's not feeling that? The person that's not working. I'm not saying she's not doing work at home with 3 kids. Because you don't want to be paying childcare costs for that. And so that's probably a good idea. And she's probably doing plenty of work at home. But you are the one that's working. And so it's different. It's a different kind of stress being the only one with the income. We can find an older home in our area, in our R. Forgot the A there. Am I better off just saucing up another 200K-ish and pay off my house or move? All right, well, it doesn't have to be any of these. It doesn't have to be any of these. That's how people get in trouble, is they just ask you, should I do this or this? And the answer is they should do a third or even fourth thing. That happens all the time when people call Mr. Ramsey and present him 2 choices of what they should do. Because most often those 2 things aren't his advice. But what you have to do here is not try to come up with a plan without the wife, but come up with a plan with the wife, and that's called compromise. You need to communicate with her, not with Reddit. Communicate, compromise, and if you can't do either of those 2 things, then it's time for counseling, my friend. You got more problems than just this house thing. So, I'm with you on having a paid for house, and that you could have that immediately. I get it, but you are not a saint either with your car payment. So that's as dumb as crap with your 250 saved up. So you're doing it wrong. But trumping the Ramsey advice, which of course is so very neatly put here in the baby steps, and they are in numerical order for your convenience. And so you should follow that advice. That would be the best thing for you to do. But what kind of thing that happens when you're married? You have to live together, and so you need to compromise on a bunch of stuff if you disagree on it. So that would be the order of the day here. And, do I think you should do the baby steps? Sure, both of you should. It's the exact right thing to do, but apparently she won't. So you got to have some kind of compromise. Halfway happy, like 11. Hopper explained it to 11 when they had to make a compromise on something. Because she wanted to go out trick-or-treating, and he was still trying to protect her because people didn't know that she was around still. So she would be in danger if she went out into the world. That was that's season 2. Sorry for the spoilers if you haven't seen season 2 yet, and if it's been too long since then. I mean that show has been. I mean it's been like what 2 or 3 years since the last season was on, and you got at the I think Thanksgiving Day I think is the final season 5 for Stranger Things. And 11, of course, is 30 years old now. So I don't think she's 30. I think Millie Bobby Brown is maybe 21 now. Let's see. This is background gap 1143. Would you do the catch-up contributions to retirement at the age of 50? Whether you want to do catch-up contributions or not, that doesn't matter. Again, what we do is we go by the baby steps, and you should be investing 15%. Now, if that means that you can't put, because you make too much money, maybe you can't put 15% into your retirement at work, like 401k, and you can't do that otherwise with the 15%, or I'm sorry, the other way, where you are putting in 15, but that's not maxing it out, is what I meant to say. And then you would be able to max it out because you can put more in it. Like as you make more money and so forth, you can put more in it at that time. But and the time you wouldn't do that in a 401k and you would get a Roth IRA instead is if the 401k at work has crappy investments in it, like target date funds, because those are not as good as other funds that you can find. Let's see. Would you do the catch-up contributions to retirement at the age of 50? My husband lived with me abroad for 4 years and missed on contributing to retirement and getting an employer's match. Now at the age of 40, he has around 300K in retirement only, okay? Not including savings or investments. Okay, so you should not have any of that. You should be doing 15% of your income. So definitely missed some time putting in there, and you saved up. So I mean that's better than spending it for sure. But you're doing that wrong. So you can, like for example, if you didn't max out the previous year, 2024, you still have until tax day. You could put some of that into the work 401k, your work retirement plan. Let's see. Not including 7. That is not 3 times our household income. It is 8 according to Fidelity guidelines. Well, we don't go by Fidelity guidelines either. We do 15% of your income as you're doing it. And of course, you would be prioritizing paying off the house before doing any extra investing. Let's see, 401k was maximized. Okay, can't do Roth IRA. Not doing backdoor IRA is the tax that we would pay is high for us. And we have other financial goals like what? HSA is not needed as we have low deductible healthcare plan. The HSA in your case would not be, you don't do it because you need it. You would do it as another tax defer or tax advantaged investment vehicle is what you would use it for, and you would do that on purpose. But you're basically doing your own thing here, so why come to the Dave Ramsey subreddit to ask? Just have people agree with you. 6 people answered, but you wouldn't be having other savings and such. What are these other financial goals? Your goals should be the baby steps, and that should be, if you don't have any debt, you already have a full emergency fund, because it sounds like you have a lot of savings and you are investing. That should be 15%, and only 15% while you save for kid college. But that may, at age 50, that may no longer apply, if it ever did. And if you have a mortgage, you would be paying that off before doing extra investing, you're doing it wrong. But I understand them asking about it because having extra savings while also still having debt on the house is just nutty and not anywhere near the Ramsey hemisphere of advice. Hooah 10. All right. That was from Scent of a Woman. And that was that was in the 90s, I believe. Mortgage pay off. Would love to get some additional perspective. We owe 340K on a house at 6. It doesn't matter the interest rate. And are you going to try to financial bro this question? I think this might be a financial bro. Bought the house a year-ish ago at 635K. Have approximately 600K in high interest accounts at 4% that could easily pay off loan and leave plenty of cushion. Okay, well, even if you are financial broing it, this making the 4%, you're losing money by paying 6.99 on the house. So this even works for financial bro advice. This is one of the rare times that that does happen, where the Ramsey advice matches it, because the Ramsey advice is based on risk, which is why you want to pay your house off. But in this case, what you're doing, you're losing almost 3% a month. Let's see, net worth is about $5 million. That's so dumb to have debt then. Pension about $4,200 a month on my end, and approximately $15K per month in rental income profit. Kid college saved for and taken care of. Got plenty in the market and retirement accounts, but have been sitting out with this liquid as it just seemed awfully high compared to underlying values for last year. You're losing money on the interest. Stop being stupid. Overthinking it, my friend. You're bothering to say that you're in baby step 6, so why don't you do baby step 6, instead of debt leveraging to have cash? Dumb. I'm at the point that I know I need to do something different with this money. I don't love the high interest account. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff that matters. You do whatever. I was right the first time. You are being a financial bro. You're debt leveraging. And so you can do what you want to do, but you bothered to say you're in baby step 6. And so why don't you do baby step 6, which is pay that off early? Otherwise, you're not. And we don't have debt leverage steps here. So I don't know that I would have any advice that you want to take. But you know darn well what you should be doing, but you don't wanna. And that's how it goes mostly. And yes, you have to sacrifice all your hundreds of $1,000s in cash. Oh dear, how will you ever live? Dumb. You won't have a mortgage payment after you pay off the freaking mortgage, idiot. Anyway, Cato Guves 8893. Are federal government pensions, civil and military, still reliable for long-term retirement plans? You might say they're reliable, but they suck compared to the market. That is why pension contributions are only worth half of what you put in. Say you're putting 5% of your income as a pension contribution. That 5% only counts as 2.5% towards the 15% that Mr. Ramsey tells you to invest of your gross income. Let's see, I'm on the cusp of retiring after 44 years of work, mostly in the military. I do have the clip. I need to add it to the streaming software. They mostly come at night. Mostly. In the military and federal civil service, the projected income from those pensions combined with Social Security is easily 1K per month more than our projected expenses. Okay, great. But current savings / investments alone could not come close to covering even an austere lifestyle for 25 to 30 years. What does that mean? Am I worrying too much about the possibility of things that are unlikely, or should I continue working another 6 years to save, invest more until we can live on cash alone? Um, that's up to you. If you would sleep better like that, work 6 more years. Let's say how old? 44 years of work, so probably 60. All right, so 60. And if you want to and Lord love you, talking about 30 more years. If you're gonna make it to 90, I hope you do. I probably won't make it to 90. But I hope you do. Like I said, I mean, this is your call here. And I don't know what it is that would be unlikely. That what you're trying to do is just live on the pensions, okay? And that is probably fine if your expenses stay lower than the money that's coming in from those. And if you are concerned about that, you are right on with the solution to that. Work longer and save and invest more. So I mean, you're trying to not do any of the other investing, because you do have some, right? Yeah. Current savings investments alone could not come close to covering even an else. Yeah, so I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is, because this says the pensions combined with Social Security, easily 1K per month. You worried about those getting, as Social Security getting axed or cut down, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, the solution for worrying about it is, how about you work some more until you're not that worried about it anymore? And you don't have to live on cash alone. You don't have to have all of your investments staying at the amount. I'm sure whoever inherits those will appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. Whoever would inherit that can make good financial decisions for themselves. What up, Sid? Sid the Kid. Pure Profession, 1795. Baby step 4, investing 15% of income, and that is exactly what it is. Good job. So we don't need to read the question then, right? I'll read it. Let's see what they're doing here. Question about investing 15% of income into retirement accounts. Dave recommends investing in Roth accounts whenever possible. Example, Roth IRA, Roth 401k. Correct. Is this percentage based on gross or net income? Gross income. Investing 15% of gross is much different than 15% of net. Does he clarify this? He absolutely does. Don't remember that screen name, but I think I read this. Could have been from same question from somebody else. There's only so many financial questions that you can ask, but it is of gross. And so a good way to remember that when figuring out what number you're dealing with, it is 15% of gross into retirement, so that it's more money, because Dave wants you to have more money in retirement and he wants you to be less house poor. So it's net take home pay for deciding what you can afford as your mortgage. Should be 25% of your take home pay, so you are not house poor, so that you have the other 75% for expenses, and also for, of course, proceeding on the baby steps. Throwaway 000 employee. 27 men want to travel more. Hardly did any earlier than life. Well, that's so sad. But I think that might make me indigent given my situation. What? Do I even know what that means? Indigent. Let's see what that means. Last of Us season 2 coming soon. It's not HBO Max anymore. It's just Max. What was I doing? Indigent is needy. Poor needy. Okay. Alrighty. Fair enough. Alright. Does that make me, I think that might make me indigent. Oh, if you do travel, yeah, if you can't afford it, you don't go. This was originally posted in another financial subreddit. Okay, we don't care about that. And yes, I know I'm flaring this as what would Dave do, even though I think I know what he'd say. Then why are you doing it then? That seems dumb to me. Even though I think I know what he'd say. I had to move for work and recently sold my condo, but after all was said and done, including 15K renovations to what I thought would make it more sellable and valuable. People are always dumb as crap about that too. Just sell your house for cheaper, for 15K cheaper instead of you putting 15K into it. Quit doing that. That's dumb. I mean, your realtor is going to want you to do that, though, is going to want you to do renovations and such because they make more when you sell the house for more. But you personally don't care. You're just trying to get it paid off completely when you sell it. And of course, you know, if you have some equity, that's great too. And the way to do that is to not spend 15K on renovations. Let them spend money on renovations. I only have 18K in my savings account. I have no debt. Make 53K a year. Put 8% of my income into 401K. Pause contributions on it for a time. That is only 16K. I'm new to stocks. Putting only 30 a week into a brokerage account. You wouldn't be doing that dumbass crap. You're doing it wrong. I moved back in with the folks because the new job, but same company. One I've been on with almost 6 years is much closer to where I'm. Yeah. So Mr. Ramsey, what he would say is that you should not be living with mommy and daddy at 27. And also he would say you need to do the baby steps before you go on vacation. Now you need a full emergency fund 3 to 6 months of your expenses. If you're a single person, maybe 3 months is fine. And so depending on what that is, I don't know that you would have enough money left. 53 generally not a lot, and at some point you're probably going to have to pay rent or get a mortgage. And so, and you're behind already, you're still 27, so you still got 30 plus years in the market. So that's no worry, but you should be putting 15%. Why are you only putting 8% in there? Why did you pause contributions for a time? Why? Are there any debts happening? There should not be any money going into dumb stocks. Doesn't matter if it's $30 a week or $1 a week. That's dumb as crap. Do not do that. No extra investing. You do 15% into the retirement account, not extra investing. And that's if you're on step 4. And so I don't know if you have debt. So where's the rest of the 53K going if you are, might be paying rent at mom and dad's, who knows? Let's see what else there is. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's a book. It's a book, man. Being a homeowner for a little while, I've developed more of a Ramit Sethi view when it comes to real estate. Now, okay, that's great. Okay. All right. Whatever. Come from parents in the early 60s who didn't move out until they bought a house, and even none of this matters. None of this stuff matters. So if you don't want to do the Ramsey advice, don't do it. So you're the one that put what would Dave do on there. But yeah, you need to get your financial house in order before doing things like budgeting, putting some kind of travel or vacation in your budget. And that would be the Ramsey advice, and that's all we care about. How many people weighed in? Only 9. Scribbles cat advice budgeting. The answer is yes. Do that. Canadian A. Doing a paper pen digital on notes in my phone. Okay. As you know, whatever you need to do in order to stick to the budget, it's fine. What's the best way to do this? I find it doesn't flow nicely. And where do you track everything you spent on budget itself? Or separate paper? It would be in the budget itself. In categories, if you can. I'd love to see your budget layout. If you can post a picture in comments, you can blur out the numbers if you'd like. I would hope they would. I want to see what flows easier. 9 comments on that. So, I mean, you can do it. You can also Google different ways to do it as well. But, I mean, I don't know what apps will sync with your bank if that's what you're talking about, to have your bank sync and put in all the transactions. So I do not know in the Canada A. You hoser. Sitting out with the dog go for a few minutes. Then gonna go try to buff out the truck. It's gross to retirement to make your retirement less gross. That's another way to remember it. Good job, Sid. Brain Cubby 32. Keep extra car or pay off debt? I wonder. What do we think the answer would be for this? To have an extra car that you're doing by debt leverage, and you probably have debt on the car? Let's see if they do. Let's see. My question is, should I sell one of our personal vehicles that is paid off and worth $50K? If sell to dealer, or $55K selling privately to pay off our $40K of credit card debt? Yes. It's an extra car. Yes. Be inconvenienced to be out of debt. I think that's a great trade-off. That produces $7K in interest a year currently, or continue focusing our available monthly income to pay one credit card off a time. Well, no, I would sell that car. Why not? Why not? That would get you ahead on the baby steps. So do that. It's an extra car. You don't need it. If you desire further income, bills, probably doesn't matter. $170K a year. Wife is stay-at-home woman. We own 2 cars, and I have a work truck that I can use for everything but vacation. Mortgage, $3,300 monthly. After bills, we allot roughly $500 a week for groceries and anything that comes up. And if lucky, set a little aside for savings. Well, you shouldn't be doing that if lucky. And you wouldn't be having extra savings other than $1,000 emergency fund, which you probably do because that's normal. But you're doing it wrong. You save $1,000 as your starter emergency fund, and that's all you have. If when you start the baby steps, you have more than $1,000, you don't just say, well, I just got a head start on baby step 3. No, that's not what you do. You change your life to fit the baby steps, not the other way around. And so you would put all that extra savings to the debt. A little agua. Major reason I'm asking the question is that our major goal is to have a child this year or sometime next year, and we will definitely not survive on $500 a week when this baby arrives. Looking forward to hearing from you all. If it's just 2 people now, what $500 a month seems excessive. Now, you're probably including extra stuff. What does it say? We allot roughly $500 a week for groceries. Oh, that's a week. That's a week, dog. Groceries and anything that comes up. Okay, so this anything that comes up crap, quit having things come up. And you're not doing savings. You need to pay off your dumb debt. So yeah, 500 is too much for two people, dog. You're doing it wrong. 55 comments. Hopefully somebody said, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, so no kids and struggling to have extra every month makes 0 cents. That much is certain. And in case we thought something had changed and this is no longer true, nope, it's still true. People are nutty. Ms. or MS 32821. Retirement savings. I was doing 15% to retirement, period. Well, that was the right thing to do. There's no need to type anything else. What kind of dumb crap is coming up next? Let's see. Then I became a high income earner 2 years ago, and I'm limited to 4.5 through work, and also do 7,000 for my IRA. Any other options? HSA, and then brokerage account. That's not tax advantage. My job offers deferred compensation, which I did last year, but I read if my company files bankruptcy in the future, it's not protected. Any ideas? Yeah, HSA, and then after that, just mortgage brokerage account. And then, you don't have any tax advantages because it's not a retirement account, but that is still investing. I'm going to meet, I guess, with an advisor, but would like ideas. Thanks in advance. 48 and make between 150 and 200K, depending, period. Depending on what? Anyway, yeah, so you would still be doing 15%. Now, again, what people kind of leave out when they get, they get focused on, ADHD or whatever, where they pay too much attention to one thing. So this person, I would say, is your mortgage paid off, my friend? And that's what you need to be doing. But you still do need to be doing 15% while you pay off that mortgage. So yeah, you need to have a lot more going in there than the 4.5 and whatever the 7K in the IRA does. So yeah, you would be doing a standard brokerage account, because 4, 5, and 6 are in that priority order, but all at the same time as they apply. Empty entrepreneur 5 savings account. We have a healthy emergency fund. Good. Doesn't need to go see a doctor. That's great. And save the 15% for retirement. No kids. Only payment is a mortgage. All right. Besides that, we have 2 separate savings accounts. Savings account 1 is what we call our overflow. Savings account 2 is our fun account. Okay. So there's not overflow. You have your full emergency fund, and then the rest of it goes to the mortgage. Now, you can have a fun account, you can have fun money, and you can, have sinking funds for vacation and stuff like that, but there's not just a whole bunch of money sitting in a fun account. That defeats the purpose of the baby steps. You're supposed to pay the house off early. Now, you can go on a vacation and you can save for just that, but you don't have a general slush fund for fun stuff. We set our checking accounts to the same amount every month, and whatever is left over gets split. Yeah, people love to do that dumb crap. But that's not how that works. Again, you should be putting extra to the mortgage until it's bye-bye, and then after that you can do whatever of this dumb crap you want to do. 2/3 goes to play, 1/3 goes to fun. If we come across an expensive home fix, repair, or project, we fund it with overflow money if the checking account wouldn't handle it. Yeah, you still don't do that though. You don't do that. You have an emergency fund, and if it's emergency, you do it. If it's you wanting to renovate the house. If it's you wanting to do a nice fun project, you don't do that. You pay off the house first. If we want to do something fun, we use our fun money. We seemingly never actually pull from this account, though. Yeah, then put that money all on the house then. We usually keep our fund limited to what is in our daily checking account. The problem, in quotes there, is both these savings accounts eventually grow to an amount that seems unreasonable to keep in savings. Right, I think that all of it is unnecessary to keep in savings. Because you still should be doing the baby steps and using your snowball amount, with exceptions for, you can go on a vacation a year, that's fine, do it, save a sinking fund for that separately, but you're not piling up money in savings instead of putting it on the house. That's a little thing we like to call debt leverage, and Mr. Ramsey not a fan of that. Should we set up a max cap at these amounts or try a different system? Any suggestions? Yeah, I suggest the baby steps, where you don't do this dumb crap where you get a specific item that you know is coming up, that you've decided to budget for. We want to go on vacation. Oh, we're going to need tires in 2 months. You can save a sinking fund for that, but not some general overflow bull crap while you still have a mortgage payment. So you can do all of that dumb crap you want to after you are on step 7. That is fine to do once you get rid of the mortgage. But the idea, a thing we're doing here on the Dave Ramsey subreddit is the Dave Ramsey advice generally is what we would like to do. And of course you don't have to. You can keep doing the same crap you're doing. That's fine. But you don't need to ask about it on the Ramsey subreddit. Comfortable hat, 48.55 401k. What about it? 54 and contributing 17% to my 401k. Is there such a thing as contributing too much to 401k? Yes, there is. If you're not on step 7. If you're on step 7, fine. If you're not on step 7, you should only be doing 15%, and that 2% should be going to the mortgage or whatever's keeping you from being on baby step 7. It is not that difficult to understand. I don't know why people have such a hard time understanding. Joy is 8. Thanks for watching, Joy. Always a joy to have you in the chat. No cash. 54.79. What should we focus on? The road if you're driving. But if it's a financial question, probably the baby steps. And oh, look at that. There's baby step 2. Now, does that mean you should be thinking about baby step 3 or investing or kid college or mortgage, paying off the mortgage early, or buying a house or anything like that? Is that what that means? How about we focus on baby step 2 and we get that done, and then we move on to the other steps. Also, fiance, get married first before you combine your stuff and live together. Probably too late, I'm guessing. Fiance and I are struggling to keep up with what's going on financially in our lives. Well, that's because you let it get away from you. So that would be you doing it wrong. Household income, not paying attention, not being intentional with money. Our household income is about 76K gross. Yeah, that household, you're doing it wrong. Go get married. I know Dave says keep your finances separate, but this has just been working much better for us. Okay, great. Then if you're not worried about following that advice, why do you want to follow the rest of it? Let's see, currently in baby step 2. We've been trying to save for a wedding since December. Yeah, that would be a no. You go to Justice of Peace and get married, and then when you're on a higher baby step later, you have a big party. So yeah, there's no saving for a wedding since December. There's no doing that. No, 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 no. And again, you don't have to take this advice. You can do whatever you want. And only have about 2,700 saved. I'm not trying to have a big fancy wedding. Yes, you are. 2,700 is too fancy when you are in baby step 2. But even the bare minimum for a semi-okay wedding, says who? People always put limitations on themselves, or they think they have to have a certain amount, like on a beater car. Oh, well, it has to be at least $5,000 or it's a piece of crap. No, that's not. That's you putting some BS stipulations on it, and you're putting BS stipulations on a semi-okay wedding around 30K minimum. Yeah, there's none of that on baby step 2. That's a no. That's just a no. So, you can focus on that if you want to, or you can make your finances better. It's up to you. Recently, he just got in a car accident, not his fault. That ended up totaling his car. We're waiting for the insurance money for what it's worth, but I doubtful it'll be more than 3K. Here's a list of things we need to budget for. The wedding's not one of them. So you cut your budget to the bone. And after you get married, you can go to the, pay whatever fees. I'll allow you to pay whatever fees the justice of the peace charges for you to get married. Where are we at? New car less than 8K? What does that mean? Here's the thing we need to budget within the next year or so. New car. Oh, to spend on a new car less than. Why do you need a new car? What's wrong with your current one? Or is that because of the one that got totaled? If you get 3K for it, you buy a 3K beater then. You don't come up with some arbitrary number like, oh, well, it's got to be at least 8K then. So we got to have the 3 there and then 8K, and then so it's got to be 11K car. See, that's some dumb crap, and that's what keeps people poor and in debt. Another wedding in Ireland must go. No, you don't. 3 to 4K. No, you don't. Sorry, can't go. Love you, mean it, can't go. Your wedding 30K? No. That's just a no. Sorry. So you should have thought about that when you got into dumbass debt. Should have thought about it before. Debt is 33K. Minimum payments, yeah, 300 monthly. School, prereqs for nursing school. See, you're trying to do everything all at the same time. You can't do all of this dumb crap all at the same time as doing the baby steps. Can't do it. Update after seeing these comments and receiving tough love about the wedding. Yes, I do appreciate the input. It's tough thinking about having to downsize or potentially push it off. Yeah, push it off. Because I've dreamed about this for so long. I've dreamed about you being debt free and having better finances. So I'd rather have that for you. But I do see how much of an impact it would make for us. No crap. Look at all this money here that you're trying to spend in the next year or so. That's dumb as crap. It would make for us, and it should be just about us and not some grand old party. Thank you all. Yes, and sorry, mother-in-law. In Ireland, freaking destination wedding. There's no travel on baby step 2. That's a NAR. So, I mean, you can do whatever dumb stipulations you want to put on your life. That's fine. But often that will not fit in with the Ramsey advice. Oh, let's see. Background gap. 1143, looking for advice. I have a 401k with Empower through my employer with 107K. What's the quest? Looking for advice. I have 401k with Empower through my employer. It's the same thing it says there in the title. My employer just sold off the division of the company I worked for, and as of last Wednesday, I'm working for the new company. Okay, we will have the option to transfer our 401k into the new company's 401k or move the funds wherever we would like, but have yet to receive the details. So the best thing for you to do would be to roll it to another 401k. Because otherwise, if you roll it to a Roth, then you'll have to pay taxes on it. So you don't want to do that. So you can just roll 401k to 401k. So that's where that would be the best for you, because that doesn't create a tax event or anything like that. Have yet to receive details. A new employer also uses Empower. What's the best mover? Move it into a self-managed account like a 401k or Roth if possible, or just roll it over to the new company's Empower 401k. Yeah, it's probably the same, and they're probably going to have you in the same investments. So you just make sure your investments are making at least 10%. Mr. Ramsey would like you to be making more than that average per year. But if they have it in dumbass target date funds, that might not even be making 10%. So if they have bad ones, then you might consider moving it elsewhere and do it self-managed. I don't know that you can do that with a 401k. You can't do that unless your employer allows you to do a self-directed one. Or if, they usually make you choose from limited options. Or not usually, but sometimes. If I roll it in a self-managed account, what are the best options to invest in? Well, you're going to have to find your own managed funds that make more than the index. I'm not an investment advisor, but I assure you plenty of funds that beat the indexes are available. Promise. Don't be lazy. Find them. Find them, find them, find them. Let's see. Spiritual Ninja 3025. Need a bigger shovel just for life. What about life? What about living life? Oh, how'd you get all that debt? Oh, life. No, that's your dumb decisions. Let's see. Baby step 4. Okay. No debt at all. That's great. At the beginning of the year, I'd been unemployed for 3 months. Previously was a bartender for a few years, but wanted to change. End of January, accepted a job offer to be a leasing agent for an apartment community at $25 an hour, which seemed great. I hadn't gotten paid hourly in so long, so I thought that would equal to the same or more I was making at the bar. Maybe I didn't take into account the taxes. I don't know. All right, maybe you didn't. I don't know what you did. Apparently, you didn't do the math correctly. After my first full month, I compared what I brought home to the average of my last 12 months as a bartender, and it's literally like 1.5K less that I'm taking home over now per month. I'm also driving more with my commute. It's hard for me to, hey, why don't you get your butt back to the bar then and 10 bar again? How about that? Now, and as far as your tips and stuff like that, you need to make sure that you are putting aside, probably 25% of that money so that you can pay taxes when they come due. So if you're forgetting about taxes, that could happen because of the other math mistake you did. So that could be it. Yeah. Let's see. It's hard for me to even invest 15% just with bills and normal stuff. Okay, I got a great idea. Cut out some of those bills and normal stuff. Quit being normal. We want to be weird. We want to not have cable TV. We want to limit the amount of subscriptions and not have 30 different ones. Let's see. The only big thing is that my friend is getting married in May, so I had to get bridesmaid stuff. No, you didn't. You could say, hey, I'm in baby step 2. Oh, well, you're not in baby step 2. So you should, theoretically, being in step 4, you should be having enough money to be able to do that. But I wouldn't take away from retirement money to be a bridesmaid and have to spend money. See, that's always interesting when, like, a lot of times your family will say, okay, so we're going to Hawaii, and I'll tell you what, we will pay for your room. So they pay for your room, but you don't get to go for free. You still have to buy your own food and everything else. And so that's not a good gift when you're on baby step 2. So it's great that you got invited to be a bridesmaid. That's fabulous. but it's the wrong time for you to do that if you can't afford to invest in retirement. So you're doing it wrong. And now the bachelorette party is next month in New York City, of all places. Yeah, there's none of that. No, you cannot afford that. If you can't afford to invest in your retirement when you're on step 4, what is the problem? I don't know what the problem is. Either you didn't get enough taxes taken out when you were working before as a bartender. I don't know what happened with your math there, but you probably just made more money there, plus tips. You thought it would. You just thought it would. No, you got to do the math on that. You can't just think, oh well, it's I hadn't gotten paid hourly so long, so I think it'll definitely equal or be more than I was making at the bar. No, you can't assume that. You got to do the math. Maybe I didn't take account the taxes. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you didn't. So yeah, there's no doing that. I do not eat out much or ever order DoorDash. Good. You shouldn't be doing that either. I live in 500 square feet, 1-bedroom apartment that I split with my boyfriend. That's not advised either. I've decided it would be good to have a part-time remote job I can do when I'm off, but I applied to 2 jobs and it's more like, okay, you signed up. We will email you if and when we have work for you. Yeah, that does happen. And so far, I've heard nothing back. I'm in North New Jersey, by the way. Really need suggestions on remote jobs if you know any. I don't, but what I do know is that, see, this is the whole thing again. The life you're talking about is all extra stuff. It's all optional stuff. You do not have to do it. And so, most people won't not do this stuff. Most people won't sacrifice their life and living. And what about the now? People won't sacrifice that. And those of us that do, in order to get ahead financially, we are the weird ones. I assure you, you're normal the way you're thinking. And so the more you're normal, the less you're going to get out of this problem where you don't have enough money. Affectionate cow 7630, please someone help me. I have $100,000. What would you need help for? If you can't figure out where to spend it to, you can donate to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Where is it? Right there. At the bottom of my webcam frame. Hello, I'm reaching out, in this Reddit looking for any strangers' advice, help. Currently I have 30K in a Roth IRA. Okay, you don't do anything with that. That stays where it is. Because that would cost you money to get that out of there. I have no debt. Great. Make 60K a year. Great. Not a homeowner. Don't really want to be right now. That's fine. It's not a law that you have to buy a house. And I have 100,000 sitting in my high yield savings account, earning 4 to 5%. Well, probably be better to depending on age, you might have to you might consider doing more investing. But if you are going to want to buy a house at some point, then maybe you keep that 100K for when that's going to happen. I feel like I'm doing something wrong with the 100K. Yeah, generally you would not have that sitting without a name on it, like down payment, or like, something that you would be spending it on. You normally would not do that, but since you don't have any debt, and since you have enough money for your full emergency fund, which you should have that, not in a high yield savings account, somewhere where you have it completely available, as soon as they tell you a 1-day transfer, the one time you have an emergency is when it will take 3 days. And so that's why I would not trust that with my emergency fund. But the 100K, if that's for a down payment, That's for a down payment, and that's exactly where it should be, unless you're going to wait over 5 years, and then you can put that in the market in just a brokerage account. Any suggestions or where I should move this money, or if there's something else I can be doing? Thank you, edit 34-year-old male. And 30K at 34. You still have about 30 years left in the market, so that's plenty of time in there. But you can get ahead by putting it in there. If you're not gonna buy a house, that's about the only place to put it then. If you're not gonna buy a house, so see if I missed anything. Nope, didn't miss anything. Yeah, so you just want to be intentional with money and not just have 100K laying around. Why did you save that up? What was the idea on saving that up? And so if it was for the house, it can just stay right where it is, and you can add to it and then put a down payment on the house if you want. Alrighty, second home, we'll get into that tomorrow. I'll tell them they're doing it wrong tomorrow. Little pitchy dog. I am Coach Steve Money on Ramsey Solutions, certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you, talking to you, if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. Link is in the ticker below. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. There it is. Let's do that. And about anything, about financial coaching, about anything on my YouTube channel, donations can go to paypal.me. Like, you can send some of that 100K. I'll be fine with that. Or to Cash App, $ Coach Steve Money, or a Walmart gift card, again, to the email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams until further notice. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show will start at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's the same time the Ramsey Show goes off of the YouTube. And that's when I start. And they are going to be having replays probably for the next week and a half as the Ramsey cruise continues. And so, but I'm still going to be doing live shows afterwards. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And if you've already done those things, thank you so very much. I'm so very humbled that anybody watches me ever. Thank you so very much. Alrighty. What do we say? Oh, yeah, we say, I have it right here, so I don't forget it. We say, make smart financial decisions every day.